Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech. We're going to review the Samsung Galaxy camera. This is the LTE model on Verizon, which they were kind enough to send along for review, so I appreciate that. And this is about $550 without a contract. So they don't require a contract with this camera, but if you want to use it over the network with a share plan, it's $5 a month. So pretty inexpensive, and it's pretty unique. So the camera itself is a 16 megapixel CMOS sensor camera. It's got a 21x optical zoom, as you can see here. It's also got an aperture of f2.8 to f5.9. It has lens or optical image stabilization, and it also has a xenon flash, which pops up right here. We'll show you in a moment. The camera itself has a nice screen on the back, which is actually a 4.8-inch HD super clear LCD screen with a resolution of 720p or 1280 by 720. It also has 8 gigabytes of internal storage and has a 1.4 gigahertz quad-core processor with a gig of RAM. So it's basically a Galaxy Note along those lines as far as speed, but with 1 gig less RAM. If I open up the bottom here, you can see there's this little door, and if I pop the battery out, what you'll see right here is a SIM card. Over here you've got a micro SD that's expandable up to 64 gigabytes. And then we have a battery that's 1650 milliamp hours. It's good for about 2 hours of usage and about 12 days of standby. You can also see over here we have an HDMI port, which is accessible with this door closed. And you can get to it here, but the flap is pretty flimsy. This is a really tiny little flap that I would worry about getting broken, maybe. We have our normal camera mount here. We have on this side a little spot for your camera strap or wrist strap. Under here we have a micro USB that could be for syncing or charging. We also have an audio jack here, 3.5 millimeter, for audio in or audio out, depending on how you want to use it. On the top, we have a power button. We have our flash under this little door here. We have a zoom and our button to take pictures, and then we also have a microphone here for video. On this side we have a button for the flash, and we have a speaker. So that's pretty much it. Pretty standard point and shoot camera, other than this built-in Android operating system, which is actually running Jelly Bean 4.1. So let's turn it on or boot our camera. And I found this is probably the number one complaint I have about this camera, is that you actually have to boot your camera up. If it goes to sleep over time, maybe you're at an amusement park or somewhere you want to take pictures, but you haven't done it for a while, it will go to sleep and then you have to boot it back up. And that can take a minute, as you can see. So as it boots, you'll see it will go right to the camera mode. The lens extends here. And the screen itself is a really nice screen. It takes some really nice photos and has some really interesting options. So let's go over some of the options. I'll first show you how quickly it takes a photo. So we'll go, we're only about an inch away. Now it's got a red box indicating that it's not a good photo, or maybe I should change there. Take a picture, it's pretty quick, and it saves it down here. We can tap on our photos. It takes a second to come up. Gives us options to share via Facebook or any other services we might have. So you can see we could share it via Bluetooth, Dropbox, email, Facebook, Gmail, Google, Picasa, Instagram, whatever apps you have installed, you can share it with. We can slide over here. I took another photo like this. We can zoom, pinch to zoom, a little bit sluggish. And then if we tap on the screen again, we can go back. But you can see there's a slight delay sometimes. And now the lens extends again. Every time you go to home or back to the home screen here, the lens will retract. Then you go to camera, it extends again. So kind of odd. Some of the behavior is a little bit weird and difficult to get used to, but not too big of a deal. So we can take pictures one of two ways. We can tap this button right here, or we can tap the button on top. We can also hit this for video. And we have 1080p video, which is actually pretty good. I did a video before using this camera as the camera you're seeing through now on a video for the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1. So if you want to check out the video quality, you may want to see that. Now we do have some built-in modes. So if we tap on the mode button, we have smart mode. And smart mode is going to give us a lot of filters, things like that. Panorama, waterfall, night modes, all sorts of different things. Hit back. If we hit mode again, we have expert mode as well. So if you're someone that really likes to fine-tune your camera settings manually, you can do that. We can scroll through here. If we go back, you'll see that it gives us a readout on the top. So if you can see that, it gives us a readout on the top of our aperture and our f-stop. And it's also showing the ISO. We'll go back to auto mode. It's kind of how I shoot. I'm not actually a camera expert as far as photos go. So this is some other interesting options. You can choose quickly through some of your filters, but again, it's a little bit sluggish at times. So now if we go back home, that's what makes this camera unique. It's basically a phone with a camera on it. So we've got apps built in. They've got built-in editors, such as Video Editor. We also have Chrome. We can browse the web. So if we want to go to Zollotech, I can do that. You can see there's my website. You can browse whatever you want here. And then if we go back here, we can look at our apps. You can install apps. You have the Google Play Store, just like you do on any other Android device. And I'm not signed in currently, but if I was, I'd be able to view many different apps and install them. And so let me give you an example. I have Instagram installed. If I go to Instagram, I'm not signed in there, but I can take an image, upload it directly to Instagram, as long as I have LTE connection or 4G connection through Verizon. However, if I don't have that, I can connect through Wi-Fi. We also have Bluetooth built in as well, so you can share many, many different ways, and you could use it through a hotspot or whatever you want to do. It's a pretty neat device. It takes some really decent photos. It's not going to be the level of an SLR, and it is getting up in the price of some consumer level SLRs or some of the Sony NEX series, things like that, around the $550 mark. It is a little bit pricey, but you do get a unique experience. In fact, when I was at CES, I saw quite a few people using this at the Samsung press conference and other places to take photos and quickly share them on their website. So it's definitely something that is being used in many unique ways or in ways you would expect it to be used. I only have a couple complaints about the camera, and one of them is the glass back. There's no protective covering over it, and if you drop it, you could shatter the back, and that would obviously be a bad thing. So you've really got to be a little more careful with it than you would a regular point and shoot. It's going to be about the same if you own an SLR, but if you're used to a point and shoot that you throw in a purse or you throw in a bag, you might need to be a little bit more careful about the screen itself. So you would need something to protect it, and I don't know if they make anything that I've seen recently, but maybe like a Note 2 flap that would cover it might be a start anyway. The second thing really that's a pain is, like I mentioned before, you have to boot up well, I was going to say phone, which it is, but you have to boot up the camera. So when you boot it up, it takes a minute, and if you are really in a hurry to get a good shot, that's not always a great thing. However, if you were ready to get a shot and you've had it out and using it, it's really fast at taking photos. We do have this pop-up flash here I forgot to mention. Hit the button on the side here, pops up, and you can use a flash. So overall, the camera's pretty nice, and I do want to show you some photos from it. The video I'm just going to leave alone as far as the video I recorded with it for the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1, so I'll leave a link to that, and then I'll leave a link to some photos I took so you can see them full resolution. I've put a lot in videos before, and I really think you should be able to see them firsthand, full size. So I'll leave a link to my website with some photos on there, and you can take a look at those if you want to see what it can do. If you have any questions or comments regarding it, please let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if there's something more you want to know about it, that you're looking about it, thinking into it, or thinking about it and looking into it, and maybe you're considering one and just have a few unanswered questions. So be sure to ask those below, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.